Have you ever wondered what living your true, authentic life would be like? And doing so fearlessly, undeniably, and unapologetically. Is such a way of life even possible? My answer is yes, it is. Welcome to my podcast, From Fearful to Fierce. My name is Sarah Udoh-Grossfurthner, and I will be using this space to share simple, easy to implement tips on how to become the best version of yourself by living authentically, unapologetically, undeniably, and fearlessly. From Fearful to Fierce is based on my FFTF trilogy, which is available on Amazon, by the way. A series on the importance of knowing, accepting, and loving one's self. So, whether you are struggling with imposter syndrome, self doubt, or just looking to level up your confidence game, this podcast has got you covered. So, get ready to take on the world one fearless step at a time as this podcast unravels and tackles some of the issues that prevents us from becoming the best version of ourselves. Once again, I'm your host, Sarah Udoh-Grossfurthner. What you see should be better than what they see. That's the topic of today. And before we get into it, let me tell you a story. Some time ago, I went to one of the shopping malls here to buy something, and so I stepped into a shoe shop. A few minutes after I stepped in, uh, I noticed an altercation between a young black woman and the store, I think the store owners or the store manager. And so I sort of like inched forward because I wanted to know what was going on. I was just in time to hear the store owner say, I'm going to have to call the police." And the young woman kept saying, she was rumbling in her back. She said, "No, I didn't take anything. I didn't steal anything. I actually bought this from here. I came to buy another pair." And so the store owner was like, "Okay, where is the receipt for this?" And she said, "It's in my bag. That's what I'm trying to get." But the store owner was not convinced. Apparently, one of the workers had seen this girl, and then she put those shoes back and then she picked up this one. So, without even asking this woman, the staff assumed that she had stolen the pair of shoes. And so she went and reported her to the manager. And so the store manager just came, and again, without asking her, he just immediately assumed that she had stolen this pair of shoes. The lady kept arguing, "No, I didn't steal it. I actually bought this before." And so the owner said, "Okay, where is the receipt?" And she said, "I brought the receipt, but I can't find it." And you can imagine what happened. Of course, she was a black girl. They just assumed that she was lying. Luckily for this young woman, she now said, thank God, and showed the receipt. And at that point, of course, the store manager was a little sheepish because he realized he had accused her of stealing the shoes without at least giving her a chance to bring out the receipt she was looking for. In the meantime, as usually happen here, of course, or maybe other places in the world where foreigners or where black are, are guests, um, this there were other people just were looking at this girl and the altercation. And of course, some had this look on the faces. Oh, yeah, she's black. Of course, she stole it. They didn't have to say that, but you could see clearly on their faces that that's what they're thinking. When she brought out this receipt and gave it to the manager just took the receipt and just said, "Oh, sorry," and Shidokun, and just said to the staff, "Oh, go on, everything is settled." And he just said, "I'm sorry," in a kind of like very flippant way, as if it was not a big deal. I wanted to walk over and then tell him off because I really, really hate injustice. It doesn't matter whether the injustice is at a black person or white person, or and I'd witnessed some of this racially focused incidences in Austria, and I just did not want to just let that go. You could see that the girl was really embarrassed. In the process, a lot of people had walked out, of course, so they walked away with the impression that she was a thief. And maybe they will see her one day on the street, who knows, and see and thought, was rather sorry and think, oh, yeah, that's the black girl who stole the shoe in the shop. So stuff like that, they're just not that on. So I kind of like sort of like made my way slowly to go and tell the shop manager off. But before I could even get there, the young woman now said, "Okay, so now you need to make this right. You need to make it right. You called me a thief, so you have to give me something from your shop." I was really shocked, and that kind of stopped me. That really stopped me in my track. And the manager, of course, he knew that he had really messed up proper, and he just looked around and went to the socks area. So he just went and picked a pack of socks and then just gave it to her. And she looked at it and she said, "Ah, only socks you're giving me." And I knew from the accent that she was a Nigerian. And she said, "Oh, only these socks. Why? I don't want to take this. I want something else. I mean, the kind of embarrassment you gave me, I deserve something else." And she went to pick up something else that she's seen, and she said she wanted that in return. And the manager said, "Oh, sorry, we have to apologize to you. Sorry, we cannot give you that. We can only give you what we given to you." And by this time, of course, his confidence and cockiness was coming back, because he could see her that she was for sale in a way. He could disrespect her and then just pay her whatever when it was proven that she hadn't stolen those things. She could have stood there and shouted at, the entire place down, and she would have been right to do that. The store manager or the entire store would have had nothing to say. If he had taken it upon himself to give us something as a way of saying, "We're really sorry for embarrassing you," it would still have been okay, although in my place I would not have taken it. There she was with power, full power, to really like make things right for ourselves, for our self dignity, for our respect. And what did she do? She asked for things as if she could not afford those things. I mean, she came there to buy sneakers. Those sneakers were worth a lot more than the pack of socks he gave her, done as a way of saying sorry. And in asking for those things, the power and the dignity that she had when it was discovered that she hadn't stolen those shoes, that power was exchanged for the stupid pack of socks. So we're talking about being the best version of ourselves here. Before you can become the best version of yourself, you have to see yourself a certain way. You have to see yourself as someone worthy of respect and dignity and value. So my question is here is, when you look at yourself, what do you see? People are going to see you any which way they want, especially if you're a foreigner in a country not yours, and maybe you're living in an environment where discrimination is rampant, kind of seen as normal, although it shouldn't be. So when you live in a society like that, people definitely are going to see you a certain way. My question today is, how do you see yourself? When you look at yourself, what do you see? Because what you see should definitely be better than what they see. In the case of this woman, you had a situation where she had been stripped of her dignity and self respect by the assumptions of this, and wrong assumptions of this shop owners or manager or whatever. And then it was discovered that she hadn't done what they assumed she had done. And at that point, she had the full power and authority. She should have walked out of that shop with her head held high. Even if they had offered to give her that, in my opinion, she should just have said, "No, you keep it. I came here to buy and I can afford this." I was looking at her thinking, does she think she's so unworthy? Does she see herself so unworthy? I don't care if they had given her half of the shop, it would still not have been worth her self respect. by even asking them for something, and then they giving her that thing what they felt they wanted to give her, and then her having to stand there to argue that the thing was not, she didn't want that, they should give her something else. And then again, they're having to say, sorry, we are not giving you anything else, this is all we want to give you. In that particular moment, she lost every single bit of her dignity. She lost every single bit of her self-respect. She lost every single bit of her, self-worth in front of people who did not even think she was worth anything to begin with. And you know what really bemused me? What I was so bemused by was that she was completely clueless about what had happened to her. What she did kind of like reminded me about a story in the Bible, Esau and Jacob, where Esau exchanged his birthright for a pot of stew because he was very hungry, and his brother said, well, if you really want my stew, you can have my stew, but you need to give me your birthright. And he didn't think twice about what that would mean for his future. And yeah, and he simply just gave away his birthright because the girl in the shop reminded me a bit of the story of Esau and Jacob. She completely failed to realize that no amount of whatever these shop owners could give her would have been worth the disrespect that they had just put her through, the embarrassment. Like I said, there were some who witnessed what was happening in the shop. So they walked away without knowing whether it was resolved or the end of the altercation. They walked away actually still believing that this woman was a thief. But apart from that, we are in the world. We sometimes we have to care about how others see us. But ultimately, the most important thing about living, being in the world amongst other people, is not about how they see you. It is about how you see yourself. Because if you see yourself as worthless, guess what? You're going to behave as if you're worthless. But if they see you as worthless, but you look at yourself as someone worthy, someone of value, worthy of respect and dignity, guess what? This is what you will carry in your head. And again, besides being what you carry in your head, it's also what you will transfer to your children. Because we live not just for ourselves, especially as a mother, as a woman. She's going to be a mother one day. She probably was a mother, and if she feels that her self dignity and respect can so easily be bought, guess what? That's the same values that she's going to translate or transfer to the children that she will have. It does not matter how someone sees you, what they think of you, what they say of you, but how do you see yourself? What do you say of yourself? What do you think of yourself? Because ultimately, what you see should be better than what they see. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, this is From Fearful to Fierce by Sarah Udoh-Grossfurthner. Until next time, keep striving to become the best version of yourself. Live intentionally, be unapologetic, be bold, be fearless. Before I forget, don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, like the different episodes, and press the notification button so that when I bring out new episodes, you'll be notified. Thank you very much. Until next time.